Greetings, wrestling fans, and welcome to a retro edition of the Raging Marks Wrestling Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ravishing Randy, and believe it or not, we were able to get TNK out of retirement. What's up going on, Kirk? How you been?
I'm doing good, man. Yeah, I had to come on because when you find out what today's episode is going to be, it only makes sense to have TNK in the house.
Absolutely, man. Dude, we got to have our TNA expert on duty. Um, you may notice that Rampage Ramsey is not on screen, but he's going to kind of be acting as the voice of God. He's back in the producer's chair off screen.
It
Ramsey, what's
feels
up,
so
bro?
right. I love this part.
It's old times.
Oh, man.
He's there.
He's here.
sure.
He'll still
I'm
interject
here.
when he needs to. But no, like we figured, especially kicking off 2026,
We have to do Kurt's wet dream right here.
We have one of my top three favorite professional wrestlers, and
there for me too.
he recently, he recently was retired.
Yeah, I mean, whether it was, take the storyline out of the equation of how it went about. He felt it was his time, and he wanted to go out on top rather than, out on his shield, so to speak.
Yeah, because I
Go ahead.
Injuries.
Yeah, no, we know. I was
It's
gonna say what the truth
injuries.
matter is. It's
Yeah.
an injury, but you wanted him to have a almost like send off, like as if I don't want to compare it to John Cena because that was a terrible one, but you wanted to let him have a final run. But
I mean, he wanted to go out.
He
still...
did hit a 2 week. He had a 2 week 1 year run.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
Well,
He
no,
put everybody on his list in 2 weeks.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, but like for AJ, it was an opportunity for him to go out on top while he was still the phenomenal AJ Styles, and like did it suck that he was retired in Saudi Arabia and not in the U.S.? Yeah, but in his words, he's like, "Hey, I made my WWE debut at the Royal Rumble.
Mhm.
I want to go out 10 years later at the Royal Rumble. This is where it all started. This is where it's all gonna end."
Oh yeah, God damn, dude, it's been 10 years. Jesus Christ, yeah. I'm like,
Feels
no, it
long. It
can't be
feels
10 years. I'm
It
like,
in some ways it doesn't feel as long, and in other ways it feels like he's been in WWE for a long time.
oh my God, that
We
really
know
just
that's not the case.
hit me in the
but-
head. 10 years, that is right. Yeah, it made sense. It was poetic for him to retire at the Rumble, and so we are going to do a career retrospective of the phenomenal AJ Styles.
And that's something that, when we first started doing this podcast, that's kind of how we established ourselves with the podcast, was doing some of these career retrospectives.
We stepped away from it, but initially when we got started with the show, that was what we did. Yeah, we had a couple of just career retrospectives. I remember we did Mr. Perfect, Mick Foley. Yeah, we did Macho Man.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them we had never finished.
I don't think we So,
dude, that was a lot that we were
and
talking.
we had many on the list that we just never got to. I remember that as well. But
Yeah, but we're gonna try to do some more of these going into the new year, and try to kind of get back to what we started this format with, just kind of reminiscing on some of our favorite wrestlers and talking about some of the highs and the lows.
yeah, I mean, I'm super excited to do this show right now, and I mean AJ Styles. Let's get into it.
Yeah, so widely regarded as the phenomenal one, AJ Styles is regarded as one of the greatest wrestlers of the modern era, over a career spanning nearly 3 decades. This is going from like 1998 up until 2026. Yeah, Styles built a reputation for an elite in-ring ability, versatility, and success among multiple major promotions worldwide. And his resume includes numerous world championships, historic firsts, and we'll touch on that, legendary matches that helped shape professional wrestling in the 21st century. We'll go ahead and quickly touch on his early career in the independent scene from 1998 to 2002. He debuted in 1998 training under Rick Michaels, and during the early years of his career, he wrestled across the independent circuit in the U.S., briefly appeared in WCW in 2001, where he performed primarily in the cruiserweight division under the name Air Styles. And his WWE stint was very short due to the company's closure.
Had a tryout match.
But he quickly gained attention for his innovative offense and athletic style. His reputation on the independent scene soon led to opportunities with emerging promotions, most notably Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, TNA. Um, from 2002 to 2013, this is Styles' first run with, or really the main stretch of his run with TNA. He became one of the founding stars of Total Nonstop Action, debuting in the company's inaugural year in 2002. And then over the next decade, he became synonymous with the promotion and earned the nickname Mr. TNA. Some of his major accomplishments in the promotion: he's three-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion, and that was from the time when NWA and TNA were attached at the hip. They had that joint venture. He's a two-time TNA World Heavyweight Champion, a six-time X Division champion, including being the inaugural champion of the X Division, two-time TNA Tag Champion, one-time TNA Television Champion. He's the first TNA Triple Crown Champion and the first TNA Grand Slam Champion. TNK, I'm going to turn it over to you because I know back in the mid 2000s, you were watching TNA specifically for the X Division. And I can remember a number of times you and I hanging out at your place where we would pop in Best of the X Division 2005, Best of the X Division 2006. We would sit there and watch some of those matches. And they're fucking crazy, man.
So, yeah, to your point, thank you. Like, I remember growing up, being a fan of WCW, watching WCW Nitro. My favorite, I guess, group of wrestlers were the WCW Cruiserweights, and that had always been the case for me up until mid 2000s X Division. You had the six-sided ring. So from 2004 to 2006, the X Division is my favorite wrestling group because of the wrestlers that you had. You had AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, Sanjay Dutt, Amazing Red. You even had, but technically, early days you had Low Key and Jeremy Lin, but that wrestling was awesome. And AJ Styles being pretty much the pioneer, the guy that could do anything. Like when you saw him do in WWE, go watch his mid 2000s TNA run. That he was the reason why he was labeled the Phenomenal One. He could do moves that he didn't really get to do in WWE that he was doing back then, like the spiral tap. He never busted that out in WWE because, well, one, it's a difficult move to do, and as you get older, those moves aren't really.
You lose a bit of the flexibility.
Exactly. I mean, it was really a 450, but he would invert, like spin as he was doing it, so you don't land the same each time you do the move. And also he tried to do it in WWE a couple times, the springboard backflip, reverse DDT, but it's a hard move to do in a WWE ring. Let's put it that way. He tried it once or twice, and he almost messed it up, and he's like, I'm not going to do that again. But to your point, I wanted to touch on real quickly. Yeah, so he started, early 1998 in Georgia. And he had a feud with Air Paris, and together they got called up to go to WCW, and they wrestled in the inaugural. WCW had a cruiserweight tag team tournament in February 2001. Literally, the company was defunct a month later. So AJ was only with the company for, 5 weeks or so.
Yeah.
And so then once that company went defunct, WWE, he got, I think, 2 tryout matches. Once was against Hurricane, I believe. And he didn't choose, he got a developmental deal, but he didn't want to sign because his wife was in college and he didn't want to have to move into WWE developmental territory. So hence he just went back to the indies, wrestled in some King of the Indie tournaments, wrestled in Ring of Honor, and then TNA started out as a weekly show in the early days, a weekly pay-per-view. And yeah, he wrestled the inaugural match in a 6-tag team match, and then later became the inaugural champion, X Division champion. So from there, he had stints with being the NWA heavyweight champion in 2003, but he was never really the guy. He'd win the match, kind of lose it to some shenanigans a month or two later, and then he'd always went back to the X Division because there he was the face of the company. But he was like the most popular guy, even though he was the heavyweight champion. Fans tuned in to see AJ Styles.
Real quick, I want to touch though on something that you had brought up, especially with the fact that he was offered a WWE developmental deal when WCW went under. Correct. Because it is one of those things that he touched on in his recent interview with Stephanie McMahon, or on Stephanie McMahon's podcast. Just the fact that it's kind of one of those things, you never know when opportunity is going to knock and present itself, and like right there, the dream was, make it to the big leagues, wrestle big. He gets the opportunity there, but he chooses his family over that opportunity. And he's also cognizant of the fact that he's young enough where another opportunity may present itself.
Dude, I'll be honest with you. It was still a big guy league in 2002.
Yeah, realistically, if AJ goes to WWE
Mhm.
in 2001, we probably don't
Wouldn't-
know AJ Styles as the phenomenal
No.
wrestler that he is, because he probably would have been buried. He probably would have been a
He
feeder
would've been.
talent.
I disagree with that because you gotta also remember too, at that time they did bring over, they still had their cruiserweight division or the light heavyweight division,
Mhm.
which was also was pretty good. So he probably likes with
But
Rey
outside of like
Mysterio
Rey
Jr.
Mysterio, nobody when they recoup those guys.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, but if you think about it, that title probably still be in play to this day because AJ Styles, you would still had that.
Perhaps, but
Just how
It's-
like Rey Mysterio stuck for over.
But
3
Rey Mysterio
decades.
was so different. He
Yeah,
was you could
but-
sell him because of the merchandise
see,
and the
but
kids.
I
And
also think though
But the
that
talent,
with
it was there.
talent was there, but I also think with him going to TNA, where literally he became one of their star attractions within that first year, and he was a guy that they could push heavily. You still had so many stars that were on the WWE roster. It's like, where would he have actually gotten his chance to
I-
shine and break through?
Just think
And
of the
not
matches,
just-
but
but-
just think of the matches around his weight. Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit. He would have showed his talent, and I think he would have shined in WWE at that time.
I think though him going to TNA allowed him to work a variety of different styles and get that extra seasoning. Where and we'll touch on it when he leaves TNA, but like
Yeah.
I feel like his time in TNA helped set him up for the success down the road
I-
in other major promotions.
Yeah, I mean, he would have great matches with guys, but I ultimately agree with Randy. I just think he would have got buried in WWE. He would have showcased what he could do. But I don't think Vince would ever pull the trigger on him. I don't see it at the time.
He
But
would like to me. I feel like he would have been another minor cog in the machine versus being the main cog that helps stir the drink. Like, and I
Yeah,
just threw in like two completely
How
different
many
analogies
wrestlers?
in there,
But how many wrestlers do you know that actually started training in 1998 and then got called up to a promotion within a year? There's not that many wrestlers that
well,
ever
he
do
did
that.
about 2 years or so. He got called
No,
up to
it was
WCW.
1 year. It was 1 year.
1 year.
Less than a year.
Oh, I'm gonna say
It was
2.
less than a year. He got called up.
Because like 98 and right around 2001 was when they made the call up, like towards the beginning. So getting 2 years, but still, like,
No,
yeah, he's
99
amazing.
I said promotion. I didn't say any major promotion. I said a promotion.
Yeah, NWA
For a
Wild
promotion to
Side.
go, and also in NWA Wild Side, he was the. If you look at it, he was.
He won he was a 3-time I think NWA TV champion, and I think he
Yep.
ended up winning their I guess the Wild Side or Georgia Territory Heavyweight Championship once. So yeah, he had the talent, especially as what was he
The
20?
talent was there to
21,
be
yeah.
where I think
Yeah.
you put him in the WWE clog. I think just to have the matches of like Benoit, Guerrero, even Chavo. You had those wrestlers in that weight area, that his weight type. That would have been.
but does he break through?
That's the thing. I don't think
I
he would
think
break
so.
through. Because I think him being wrestling in the 6-sided ring is what he benefited so much, showcasing what he could do athletically in that style, just in general. And I mean, I could get started on that. We can keep going on the deep dive. Like, I guess the points that I wanted to kind of touch on was the fact that, like, once he became, he was the NWA champion. The first time he won the belt, Vince Russo helped him out. So it was kind of like, was he really the guy? And he held it for a while, had feuds with D'Lo Brown, and then eventually lost the belt, went back to the X Division. But for me, where it gets started is 2005, when he's having a feud with Christopher Daniels, who's one of his great long-term friends. That's where it starts for me. 2005 AJ Styles. He went to have a great feud, and then that's when Samoa Joe makes his debut.
Yep.
In I think June or July of 2005. So then you get those matches, and if you haven't seen Samoa Joe and AJ Styles or Christopher Daniels AJ Styles matches, you need to like get on that right away, because those matches still hold the test of time, and some of my favorite matches.
If you don't want to go through their entire match catalog of like AJ versus Christopher Daniels or AJ versus Samoa, like the match that stands out, that's like if there's one match
Mhm.
from the X Division that you need to watch, it's the triple threat match. TNA Unbreakable 2005.
They were the main event. That was the first time the X Division had been a main event for pay-per-view. and it was a triple threat match, and it was the only TNA 5-star match that Dave Meltzer ever gave for whatever insane reason. Chris Van Fleet even called him out on that bullshit, but whatever, Dave, you do you, man. Clearly wasn't watching TNA at the time.
And that was actually one of 2 of his 5-star matches of his career.
That's it?
Yes.
Wow.
Fuck you, Dave Meltzer. Like, that is literally insane,
You want
dude.
to take a guess at the second one?
I'm guessing John Cena Royal Rumble 2007.
No, it's gonna be in the Tokyo Dome.
Shinsuke Nakamura?
Incorrect.
No.
It actually happened Saturday, May 4th, 2024.
Oh, Cody Rhodes
Backlash
in France.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
God
yeah.
damn.
I kind of vaguely remember that 5-star match, which
Which I mean, the crowd was huge in that one.
that the crowd played a factor. Dave rewards on crowd
He
participation.
had like
too.
one. Dave gave him a 4.75 and won a match, but I was shocked when I looked at the star ratings. I was like, "You're fucking with me." As much as a mark
Dave's a fucking hater.
that he is a mark for New
Yeah.
Japan, that none of his New Japan matches
You got a 5-star match. Not even the match that the people that herald the Shinsuke Nakamura match at Wrestle Kingdom, which I watched, which was a great match. I assumed that would have got like a 6-star match. That shocked me that he didn't give that a 5. Wow. Damn, Dave.
What a douche.
Yeah, I know. You could clearly be bought, buddy. It's like
No, but no, like I mean, his rivalries in the X division were huge.
so, and that's what really happened. So after 2005 with the X Division title, he kind of in 2006 he started wrestling for the TNA Tag Team Championship with Christopher Daniels, and they had great matches against LAX, which was originally Homicide and Hernandez, not the second rendition of LAX.
Santana.
Not with Santana and
Ortiz.
Ortiz yet, but the first one with Hernandez and Homicide. Outstanding matches. Definitely watch those. They had an Ultimate X match for the tag team titles. Then shortly after that, AJ turns on Daniels, and this is where he starts to wear the full, he wears like the full pants outfit suit, which he in 2007, and he becomes a heel and joins Christian's coalition, which was Christian Cage, Tomko, Scott Steiner, AJ. He had a bunch of matches with Rhino for whatever reason. They just had a weird feud that they had that lasted a couple of pay-per-views. And then I don't know if you wanted to add something to that.
I was gonna let you go. You were on a roll.
So no, I mean AJ did also wrestle for Ring of Honor kind of during this time as well. So that was kind of tricky because he started wrestling in Ring of Honor with TNA. He was the Ring of Honor first pure champion, but then he had to relinquish the belt because they had, I don't really want to get into it, but there was a guy in Ring of Honor that got into almost like a I guess Predator type situation. So then TNA released their relationship with Ring of Honor. So even though AJ Styles beat CM Punk for the Ring of Honor Pure Championship in 2004, he didn't wrestle for Ring of Honor for another 2 years. And then he did wrestle Bryan Danielson in 2006 for the Ring of Honor Heavyweight Championship, but he clearly didn't lose. But the fact that he was able to go back and forth and that was awesome. And so from 2007 was kind of when they were pushing, after he leaves Christian Cage's Christian Coalition, he kind of starts becoming a competitor for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, which he ends up getting again. So he wins his first TNA World Championship. Oh God, I'll be honest with you. I think it was in a 5-way match where he gets it again. And so, which was nice because then he holds the belt. Actually, Ric Flair at this time becomes his manager, which was intriguing. So then they pit him with Ric Flair, and he goes on a 7-month tear with the title, which was awesome. And so then shortly after that, he loses the title. And then they're kind of like, what they're going to do. So they put him in a faction, basically like a 4 Horsemen remake.
Fortune,
yes. So it was Frankie Kazarian, Beer Money Incorporated, and AJ Styles. And they do this Fortune faction, which was a complete, I don't say ripoff, but remake. And then you got Ric Flair, that's where you get the, eventually the Jay Lethal, Ric Flair, gimmick, which was hilarious. The woo off.
Yeah.
But at this time, Fortune wrestled EV2. Who's EV2, you might ask? For some weird reason, TNA decided to hey, we're going to take all the ECW originals, or not all of them, but a lot of them, like Rhino, Tommy Dreamer, Raven, Sandman, Sabu, and they had they did a, God, what was it called? Like a Stampede. I forget that pay-per-view that they did, like a Lockdown.
Yeah.
So they did a big, that was their, Lethal Lockdown was their, War Games, kind of.
War Games.
But it was, 6-sided ring, steel cage. So, and then, oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember what happened. I have to get my notes together. Sorry, guys.
Come on, TNA.
Oh,
X-Men,
so
come
yeah,
on.
so this is kind of at the point. Then after that, after he leaves Fortune, that's kind of when I believe. Oh shit! Oh my god. So right around that time, that would have been 2001. And I know I'm skipping a lot too. Um,
2011 one?
no, I think that's right around 2011. I think it's the EV2, the Fortune thing, almost. You had that? You don't have it around there?
I've got Fortune.
Was that 2012? Oh, I skipped the big
Fortune's 2010.
2010. Okay, well, 2010 is a very significant year for AJ Styles' career. You want to take a wild guess why? In 2010, big year for AJ Styles. AJ might know. Well, he became PWI #1 wrestler of the year in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
So that is pretty significant. So hence, when he had the feud the year before, you'll see they go from July 1st to June 30th. They have a weird schedule how they, how their calendar works for that matter. So during that time, that's when AJ was world champion and he was defending the title at all times. So he was really making it known for himself, showcasing what he could do, wrestling Samoa Joe, Sting, Kurt Angle. I mean, come on, right there. That's putting
Dude,
you over.
I was gonna say the feuds with Kurt Angle and Sting are
Oh my
some of
God.
his best in TNA as well.
With Kurt Angle, yes, absolute banger matches, really showcase what he could do. Kurt Angle put so many guys over, but Kurt Angle had a 10-year career with TNA. He had a longer career with TNA than he did with WWE, and he could showcase what he could do with the likes of AJ Styles and things of that nature.
Real quick, let's touch on the PWI real quick.
Mhm.
So 2010 was his only year at #1. He spent 2 years in 2017, 2018 at #2. His lowest ranking ever was 458 in 2000.
Okay.
And then 2001 was 199. Since 2001, never ranked lower than 99. 99 in 2023. But you never ranked under 100.
Under 100. Because I think he took some time off because he bulked up when he was injured that one year, which was what, 2022, 2023. I guess he took much time off.
He's been ranked since 2000 every year.
It needs to be. Greatest, one of the greatest name in workers of all time.
79 this previous year.
I thought he was PWI twice, but let me see.
Nope.
Yeah, he won in 2010. Oh, he was 2016 Wrestler of the Year. Okay, and he
2016 he was 4. He won it twice. He won.
He won the
second,
award
he won
Wrestler of the
second
Year. Okay.
Twice. He was third twice. He was fourth twice.
Fourth twice. Okay.
But previously in 2009 he was 19. In 2010 was #1, then dropped to 24 in 2011.
2011. Jeez, man. And again, I know I'm skipping a lot. Like, really, I didn't. The main event off that didn't include him. Although I did want to talk about real quickly. There was a time where they Styles and Tomko back in 2007-ish beat Ron Killings, and it was supposed to be Pac-Man Jones, but somebody had to substitute for Pac-Man Jones. You want to take a wild guess who that was?
Who do you?
Consequences Creed. So that's why when he retired, he gave Xavier Woods like the biggest hug in the world, because Xavier kind of like is so grateful for really AJ's wife being like, hey, remember that guy you wrestled in the Indies? What about him? Let's put him in that match.
Yeah.
That's kind of what got Xavier Woods up out of the Indies doing this thing, got started. Yeah. So kind of just wanted to bring up key points, things I might have missed real quickly. So yeah, after the Fortune Battle Royal EV2, Styles turned face in 2011, battling the Immortal faction. Let's see. 2011 Styles. Oh, it's 2011 Styles feuded with Bully Ray, lost his title match against Bobby Roode, and then 2012 AJ feuded with Christopher Daniels. Oh God, 2012. Oh, poor AJ. That's when they tried to do not one but two affair gimmicks for AJ Styles. One was Dixie Carter, which okay makes sense on paper, I suppose. But then they did the stupid Claire Lynch, the father, who's the father gimmick, which was one of the worst gimmicks in like TNA history. Poor AJ for having to deal with that. But shortly after that, I forgot AJ and Kurt Angle won TNA Tag Team Championship against Daniels and Kazarian. At the end of 2012, Styles lost to Daniels, took a quick break, and then he returned. And this is where he returned as the gimmick, which you would ultimately see in WWE. He had the longer hair, had facial hair at this point. And he was basically a loner character. I know in like 2013, Aces of Eight offered him an invite into their faction. He refused. AJ would go on. They started. TNA had this Bound for Glory series that they would do. The
Mhm.
winner of the Bound for Glory series would go on to main event Bound for Glory, which was TNA's biggest pay-per-view. He would go on to beat Bully Ray at the 2013 Bound for Glory, win the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, and you're like, okay, well then it's going to be all's good for TNA and AJ Styles. No, it was not. TNA was having a lot of financial issues at that time. Thank you, Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff.
Huh.
But they were also losing a lot of money, and Dixie Carter offered a lot less money for AJ
Yeah,
Styles.
it reduced his salary by about 60%.
Dude, think about that. 60% of his salary.
Guy that is widely considered Mr. TNA, and the company that basically you have helped to elevate basically tells you, yeah, we can't pay you even though we profit off of your name in such a way. It's like, and granted, they were going through money issues at the time too, but for a guy of his stature, it's like, especially when he's still in his prime, it's like, no.
He's the face of your company. He's been with there for so long. Although AJ stated himself he never felt he was the face of the company, because every time he'd win the world title, they kind of, except for that 7th month run, he would kind of lose it to some shenanigans a month or two later. So fans just remember him as the face, but he doesn't feel that he was, even though he kind of really was. So yeah, 2013. Yeah, 2 months after he won the belt at Bound for Glory, he leaves the company.
Which is nuts, but that's kind of a nice segue into the next stage of his career, because now granted, during this time he went back to the independent scene.
Yep.
He was kind of doing the Cody Rhodes thing before Cody Rhodes made it a big thing. But he worked at various promotions, even went back to Ring of Honor for a bit there. But of course, he experienced a career renaissance on the international stage in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yep.
While he was there in New Japan, he became the IWGP Heavyweight Champion twice, was the leader of the Bullet Club, had major matches against Kazuchika Okada, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Shinsuke Nakamura. He actually won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship in his first New Japan Pro Wrestling match, defeating Okada in 2014.
So with that, his debut match was kind of funny because like Finn Balor leaves the company and he was like the leader of the Bullet Club.
Mm-hmm.
So then now it's like, who's going to be our big leader? What a freaking get! You get AJ Styles. So
well, the interesting thing is it was Machine Gun Carl Anderson.
Oh,
that
who was the correct.
the leader,
Correct.
And AJ was the leader of the Bullet Club in Ring of Honor. But I mean, it didn't take long.
The Bullet Club kind of held AJ. So on his debut match for New Japan, he becomes the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, which to me is a huge, huge deal, because before then, New Japan never really gave like smaller guys the world title. Like you would have like Vader or Scott Norton or somebody like
or
that.
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar. Or Kurt Angle, somebody who was an established heavyweight champion out in like WCW.
I mean, he was the 5th Gaijin to ever win the New Japan.
That's a huge deal. But the fact that he wasn't a massive, big guy to win it, to me, was huge. That's like New Japan being like, hey man, we believe you based on your talent alone, what you're capable of. We know you like, and also that it doesn't hurt to have AJ Styles in your promotion. So that's a huge deal.
Dude, but like during this stretch, he also had several clean matches in the G1 Classic.
Yep.
And actually could have been in the finals of the G1 had he not lost his head-to-head matchup with Okada. I think he ended up with 8 wins and 2 losses during that stretch, and I think Okada was the same, but beat AJ head-to-head. Ergo, he got the spot instead. So I mean, it's really during this stretch that he kind of causes waves on the international scene, gets noticed by WWE. But before we touch on his WWE career, I want to give the floor to you, just if you had some thoughts on some of his New Japan matches.
So yeah, like I wasn't per se. Around this time, I don't know if like you kind of, because the U.S. fans kind of missed them, because not everybody got access to New Japan Wrestling, but fans were legit fans of AJ Styles. If you were an independent, he was like the king of the indies that you had to see at this point, because he was no longer on TNA television. So yeah, he had great matches. Clearly, what Randy was talking about with Okada, Tanahashi, Naito. But honestly, when he went to go after the New Japan Intercontinental Championship is where things got nice, because their champion was Shinsuke Nakamura. So for the final let's see, Wrestle Kingdom 10, I believe it was, at the because they always did the pay-per-views like right at the new year.
Mm-hmm.
So that was he wrestled Shinsuke Nakamura at Wrestle Kingdom, and was what I was shocked what EJ was talking, or what Rampage was talking about earlier, with the fact that that match was not a 5-star match. That Wrestle Kingdom match between Shinsuke and AJ, do yourself a favor, watch that match. It's, strong style to the fullest and just an unbelievable match. AJ lost to Shinsuke, and then shortly right after that,
hours after that,
literally,
match.
I kind of felt bad for New Japan because they didn't just lose two of their biggest stars, but they lost two other significant stars as well. So AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, all basically leave New Japan right at the start of 2016. And word was they were going to promotion, and at this time,
Well, word was they were going to go back to TNA, or
Yeah.
while AJ was going back to TNA, bringing Gallows and Anderson with him.
that was the
They
word.
had a verbal agreement.
hmm So you knew Shinsuke already made the comment that he was going to WWE. I heard that from the
Yeah.
underground with NXT. Triple H made that known, but they didn't say anything about AJ. So you want to cut to a certain pay-per-view in January, happened to be in Orlando, where the home of Impact Wrestling was, which was a great debut for a certain person. So basically, Royal Rumble 2016. I'll be honest with you, I was shocked because I did not see this coming. I thought because it was in Orlando, it was gonna happen.
So I vividly remember all of us hanging out here
Mhm.
watching the Royal Rumble, and Roman Reigns quickly throws out. I think it was maybe Sheamus that started.
I can't remember the number who that was. Yeah,
Or it was Rusev.
I think it was Rusev.
Yeah, it was Rusev. But Roman Reigns quickly throws back because this is the Royal Rumble, notoriously, where Roman Reigns had to defend his championship in the Royal Rumble from the number one spot
that's
and
right.
go the distance.
That's right.
But then number 3, you hear this weird music plays, this really cool, hip hop,
Yeah, great theme song.
entrance music. And then all of a sudden you see on the screen "I'm Phenomenal" pop up, and it's like, oh shit.
So
And there was rumor and innuendo that he might debut, but the fact that he actually debuts at the Royal Rumble and he's going one-on-one with the WWE champion in
Roman.
his first fucking match.
in Orlando was the perfect place to debut, and because, like I said, of Impact Wrestling, doing all their shows in Orlando for so many years, was like, and then the fans, just because it's the Royal Rumble, they know it was an unbelievable debut for AJ Styles. And yeah, to your point, going up against the world, then their current champion Roman, it's like,
And
okay,
the fact that, like, realistically, this is the first time that WWE is acknowledging an outside promotion. Fact that friggin' JBL is on the telecast, say, is a 2-time IWGP heavyweight champion.
oh yeah, they really did
Like, that was a big deal even back then.
Mhm.
Before we get to where we are now, where there's more of a willingness to work with the promotions or acknowledge your accolades outside of the WWE.
Yeah, now they're kind of getting more open to acknowledging things.
Before we move on, I do have a trivia question for y'all.
Yes.
AJ Styles is one of 3 WWE wrestlers in history to win a state title in Georgia. Can you name the other 2?
Talk about state wrestling
State
championship.
high school wrestling championship.
Cody and
Yeah, no Cody.
did Creed, Xavier Woods? No, because Cody kept him down. That's right.
Wait, you say this is in the state of Georgia?
State of Georgia.
Okay, this that the Dolphins, Kentucky, I think. I don't want to keep the question too long.
Yeah, time's up.
Yeah, time's up.
Braun Breaker.
Oh, I should have known that
God
one. Yeah, damn it. Yeah, Rick
God
Steiner's. Yeah,
damn it.
Atlanta. Damn that.
Yeah.
But AJ and Cody both won it twice.
I didn't know AJ Styles was a wrestler in high school. Damn, okay.
2-time. That's why when I said that when he moved up quickly, there's a reason why the pedigree, his wrestling background was so superior that he won.
Makes sense.
high
We got all
school.
his letters from because
He also went to college for wrestling. He was a wrestler in college.
Hey, he went to Anderson University in South Carolina.
Yeah.
I didn't know he got a wrestling scholarship. Damn,
Wrestling scholarship.
did not know that.
I mean, just kind of highlighting, some of his accomplishments in WWE. He's a two-time WWE champion, including a 371-day reign with the belt,
Mm-hmm.
three-time United
Pretty
States
weak.
champion, one-time Intercontinental champion,
Yep.
and a one-time Raw Tag Team champion with Omos. And with his tag title victory at WrestleMania 37, it made him a WWE Grand Slam champion, and uniquely the only wrestler to be a Grand Slam champion in both WWE and TNA.
I do want to also. I'll give you another trivia question. When you're talking about that 53-week run with him as the champion when he beat Jinder Mahal, yeah, I talked about this earlier with a trivia question. Who is the first wrestler to win a WWE championship outside of the United States? AJ Styles. So it's just interesting fun facts when you think about it. And I want to touch upon 2016 because they had I was watching a YouTube video about like the great years of WWE. And it's funny because like you go from like the early, like the late 90s and then maybe the year 2000, let's just say 2002. I can make a case for 2008 or 9 at being in there. And then you skip fast forward all the way to 2016, which is kind of funny because like you had the PG era and wrestling just really wasn't that good during this time period. But 2016 was a very good year for professional wrestling. And you want to know why? AJ Styles. AJ Styles making his debut, I'm going to be honest with you, I was scared because he's my favorite wrestler, and I'm like, Vince is just going to bury him. There's no way he's going to let this guy be a main event guy. And literally, as soon as he debuts, he goes on, has matches with Chris Jericho, which I think really benefited him. Although that was a terrible T-shirt, the Y2AJ shirt, which, God, that's awful. But it's funny because they made it seem like they're going to be a tag team, and then they break up. And then what sucked was his debut WrestleMania match. Normally you win those. AJ Styles did not. He lost to Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 32. So hence, I'm thinking, okay, Vince, you're going to bury my boy. Way to go. But then he goes and wrestles Roman Reigns in the next, 2 pay-per-views after that for the World Heavyweight title, which showcased what he could do. So then I'm like, okay, Vince is believing in this guy. He's giving this guy shot at the world title. But again, he didn't win it. But I'm like, doesn't matter. At least he's in the title picture. And then showcase to, oh my God, he's having a rivalry with John Cena.
And like really that John Cena rivalry was the rivalry of 2016 even into 2017. Like,
I mean,
the fact that he's just openly out there is like, I'm here to beat up John Cena and like just fucking.
Well, it was the perfect rivalry.
In like in a way, it also kind of like, I'm not gonna say legitimized John Cena, but it was one of those things where you weren't dreading a John Cena match. You were actually looking forward to a John Cena match and seeing how the two of them can complement each other.
I recently watched a social media video of John Cena talking about his rivalry with AJ Styles because John Cena was always like, well, what's why are we going at it? We can't just be like, we're the best. I want to prove I'm better than you. What's going to make this feud work? And then AJ's like, well, okay, they were on the cover of a magazine together, and they were always like, I'm the face of WWE, I'm the face of TNA. But AJ's like, deep in my heart, I'm phenomenal. I'm the best in the ring. You can't touch me. I'm going to prove to you why I'm so much better than you, and I'm going to, basically mop the floor with you inside the ring, which really sold the match to me. And to your point about showing what John Cena can go in the ring, it really did showcase that John Cena was better in the ring than you realize, although.
But it wasn't just the face of TNA. He did something that John Cena never could and never can do. It was the IWGP Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, there you go.
He won a championship in the world. He won his first WWE championship out of the States. He's one of the true world champions that's ever been.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but also you're going up against the franchise guy in WWE. So to me, when I was saying I don't believe Vince was just going to bury this guy, he goes from Roman to now you're wrestling Cena. And then he goes to wrestle John Cena at Money in the Bank, and you're like, okay, usually Cena will play nice. He'll give you the first one. And then I'm like, okay. So Styles beats Cena clean at Money in the Bank. Yeah. And then he goes to SummerSlam. And I'm like, okay, here's where Cena's going to get his revenge and get his win. He does off the second turnbuckle, a attitude adjustment to AJ. I'm like, this is it. Game over. AJ kicks out. I'm literally like, are you kidding me? AJ beats him at SummerSlam, which basically solidifies him like, you just beat Cena clean twice. So now where do you go from here? And then Cena even questioned himself. So Cena kind of take a break. And then, what was it? What was Dean Ambrose was the champion at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So then after SummerSlam, the next pay-per-view, whatever that was, I think it was Backlash, I believe.
Backlash traditionally after.
So AJ wins the WWE Championship September, so what, 8 months after he debuts, he's world champion. Dude, I'm literally like, I could not believe Vince did that. And Vince was talking about, I don't need another you, I need a pit bull. For some weird reason, Vince believed in AJ, and I was shocked because normally he doesn't, smaller guys, he doesn't really do that for. And he put the belt on him, and I was just stunned. So I don't know if you want to touch on anything with
Because
that.
what does Vince respect the most? IWGP Heavyweight Championship.
So I never knew that, and I would have never guessed that either.
Go back in history, Kurt. 1980s. Who did WWE have a personal relationship with?
They did. They had a
With
little relationship with
New
Japan. Yeah.
So this is where that's the title. That's the title. I said it before.
So then what happened with Vader?
He was supposed to get the spot, but Michaels
WCW
kibosh
happened
on
with
that.
Vader.
That too.
Even when he got to WWE, Vader was a shell of himself.
Well, no, he was a shell of himself because of the shoulder, but he was supposed to be champion because it was an in your house pay-per-view called It's Time, the December pay-per-view, which was Vader was supposed to be champion during that pay-per-view, but Shawn Michaels was like, no, I still want to be champion. Yeah.
The lore of Vader was out after WCW because that was when his debut and everything. It was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. But like with WWE, it was already like, all right, we seen it, we did it, it's done.
And I think he kind of rubbed some boys the wrong way on top of that, and then it was just kind of over. Plus, he was injured as well. But to AJ's point, that just shocked me that Vince did that, and I was really just stunned that they put the world title on him 8 months into him being there. I was so damn happy and thrilled. That kind of got me back really, in good graces with WWE, and then that's when he kind of was like the face. Was he? But the SmackDown.
Yeah,
champ that runs the camp.
Champ that runs the camp, the
So,
face that runs the place.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
I mean, if you look at his career in WWE, some of the legendary rivalries that he had. I mean, we touched on John Cena, also touched on Roman Reigns, and like their feud, especially before COVID, and a lot of those matches were pretty marquee. Shinsuke Nakamura, and I'll say this: we were at WrestleMania 34, and kind of felt like maybe Shinsuke should have gone over.
he run the Royal Rumble. It just felt like, hey, AJ's already been champion. Why not give it to Shinsuke? But the same thing. It was like same thing they did to Asuka. It was like you had two Japanese wrestlers win the Royal Rumble, and then they both lose their main WrestleMania matches. So
yeah, the WrestleMania 34 was kind of a big what if, but I didn't like the whole heel Shinsuke thing with him and AJ.
No,
like
I wasn't
just
a fan of
making him
that.
your stereotypical international heel of the week, heel of the month kind of deal.
Kind of felt that way.
It was very forced and it was very meh. But I mean, had classic matches with Seth Rollins, champion versus champion feud in 2019.
That was a good match.
And then he's gonna go down as the guy that The Undertaker had his last match with. And the fact that, now granted, Taker maybe when they initially, were pitching the feud, didn't think that would be the case, but he kind of knew that, filming the Boneyard match, it was like, you know what? This is it. This is time.
I mean, it's during COVID. There's not much you could do, and it was the perfect way to really showcase, like, okay, we have, like, how can we keep the fans' audience's attention with no crowd? Let's do these two style matches. So even though it was a cinematic match, it worked very well, I thought, and it was very entertaining, and I thought it was a great send off to the Undertaker's career.
I do want to touch on this because
there's some things I do want to touch on.
Well, there was something that was brought up in a recent interview with Gallows and Anderson. Where I think it was Anderson that made the statement that WWE never truly tapped into the real potential of AJ Styles, like as far as AJ consistently being that guy in the main event picture, because AJ had his run in the sun in the main event picture up until COVID, and like I know we had the match at Backlash in Lyon, France, with him and Cody.
Yeah.
And like hell of a match, banger match. But like outside of that, it's really like from 2000 on, you don't really see AJ in the main event picture.
I
Like,
could I could kind of make an argument to what they're saying because yeah, you like he had a 53-week run as the world champion. So from like Survivor Series to like the following Survivor Series, we lost to Brian or Daniel Bryan at the time, and then yeah, after that he kind of would just maybe go. He had a lot of feuds with the United States Championship. Also, another interesting
Kevin
fact, Kevin
Owens.
Owens. The
Yep.
fact that I did like this because they used to do this in the '90s and they stopped doing it. Now they don't have house shows anymore. But the fact that he beat Kevin Owens for the World U.S. Champion at a Madison Square Garden house show, I thought was pretty damn interesting because that just never happens anymore. So hey, what's the selling point to get people to go to house shows? Possible championship, change. So yeah, he wrestled a lot for the U.S. title, but he had decent feuds with Kevin Owens. But the one thing I really liked about AJ Styles that I thought WWE did a good favor for him was that he had very interesting WrestleMania, except for Shane McMahon. He had very interesting WrestleMania matches with guys, like big name guys that I thought were very interesting. Like he had a match with Randy Orton at WrestleMania, and he beat Randy Orton at WrestleMania. That was huge for me. He had a match against Edge at WrestleMania, which again was very intriguing. So did he have one against Logan Paul? I'm not
I want to say he had
I
one.
think he had
It was one of the more recent.
recent matches. I know I'm going back on memory for this one though, but I always remember him having very interesting matches at WrestleMania that you don't really interesting feuds that you need to build upon. And yeah, he had that one match with LA Knight. Just it was just things you don't.
Night 2 of WrestleMania last year.
Yeah, so he has. But I like that when guys have big marquee matches that you don't see throughout the year, but then they had those matches with the said wrestler you want to see at WrestleMania. I respect that. I wish they would kind of do that more instead of giving it away on a weekly televised series. Build it up.
But
Have
see, also too is like AJ Styles, just how like he's stepping away on his terms. It's also too is I don't think he wanted to be in that limelight picture. I think he was he didn't need he's just one of those wrestlers you don't need him to be at the end of the show to draw.
Mhm.
You can put him in the middle of that show and he's the highlight of the show. And that's one thing about his rivalries and about some of his things that he didn't have to be in that main goal for that title because he pretty much once he wins that W championship, what else is there to do? There's nothing else to do.
well,
He hit the top two titles in wrestling.
But there's also guys though that like they won championship multiple times or whatever like that. I mean like hell, you had John Cena even when John Cena wasn't in the main event picture, still hovering around the main event picture.
he felt like the number two
but
world.
also too, but on that note, was that too much of John Cena being hovering around the main event picture?
Oh, 1,000%. But the thing though is,
Exactly.
but
But guess what? With AJ Styles, he didn't do that. But we also got likes of seeing Kevin Owens run. We got to see likes of other people running with titles and going for titles that we probably wouldn't have had if you had like that old mantra of you just had this little group of people just staying at the
Yeah.
so that fit great for his character. But to Randy's point, with talk about Carl Anderson not being the top guy, he never won a Money in the Bank, never won a Royal Rumble, never main evented at WrestleMania. Well, I mean, I guess you want to talk about the Undertaker. I don't really count that, but that you don't like it. They only see those spots for guys that they consider their top guys, franchise guys for that year. But AJ served his purpose because he did get the whole world WWE Championship, not the World Championship, the WWE Championship, which to me was the bigger belt at the time. Even though really whoever the champion Raw was under Vince was the bigger guy. But yeah, to your point, you don't need to do that to have that. You could be a world champion after you're world champion. So you keep yourself relevant by keeping yourself in interesting feuds and making whatever the lower titles, which really aren't lower, seem prestigious because you have them because you were a world champion.
Yeah.
So yeah, to your point, yeah, that's a great career.
To me too though, it's kind of interesting that like the Bullet Club or the OC or whatever never had a more dominant run in the company. It's kind of crazy. It's like, okay, we throw them together, but then we don't really do much with them.
Yeah. Because I think Gallows and Anderson won the titles on the pre-show, and then you didn't really. I don't recall them being champions when they were the OC. It could have been AJ could have been like the U.S. champion, but
I mean, you'd have felt like with AJ as world champion, and then with the two of them holding the tag belts, like they basically have a monopoly over
Yeah, whatever
the
brand.
program,
Yeah.
whether it's Raw or SmackDown, and it's like never really
But on the flip
felt like
side
that
of
was the
that,
case.
but on the flip side, they did do that, but also too, I think they missed the case of having a run of Finn and AJ in the same.
Yeah, well,
They teased it.
that was another big thing that they brought up in that interview was the fact that like they underutilized AJ in some regards, and the fact that like you had Finn right there,
Yes.
like that is a
Hell,
impressive story to run with.
Hell,
Like,
you had AJ, you had Finn, you had Cody, and the Good Brothers. At one point, you had a Bullet Club in your fucking
I
organization.
think they got in trouble because when it was supposed to be Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt at I think the TLC pay per view, I forget what year.
the one that was stricken with
Two
everybody
guys
getting
were
sick.
sick. So
Yeah.
then AJ was in Chile literally the day before. Flew from Chile to I don't remember where the hell that TLC pay per view was, but either way, that was a hell of a long flight.
Yeah.
And then AJ with like no build up, no nothing, had to wrestle the Demon Finn Balor. So you did get to see AJ and Finn at a
I don't
pay per
mean
view.
I'm talking about as a.
But I think
as
when they
a-
did at the end of the match, when they did the Bullet Club,
The
Too Sweet, I think they did get in trouble for that. I don't think they wanted to make any like showcase that at all in WWE under Vince for whatever reason. I don't know, maybe because they didn't have the branding
What?
ownership trademark to it.
That's the stupidest thing ever because Finn was doing that way in fucking NXT, and when he got into WWE,
NXT,
when
they still pay attention to NXT.
But when he got into WWE, he was doing the Too Sweet. That's something Finn's been doing his whole life.
I don't know. I think for whatever reason, but either way, but you never had Finn and AJ as a team
Besides,
or
that was a
matches
click
together.
thing. That was a click thing before
really
it was
was.
anything else. It was a click thing
Yeah,
before it
it
was an
was.
NWO thing before it was a
It really was a click
Bullet
thing
Club
first.
thing.
The only thing they would have a problem with would probably have been Triple H, but I guarantee Triple H would have a problem with.
Oh, Triple H had a problem with it.
Finn Balor and.
But yeah, you never got like another Finn or AJ match that I can recall. They probably had one or two on SmackDown or Raw that I must have missed, but as built up for like a pay per view because you have two top guys and you could have done something with. Yeah, it would have been nice to see like a. Doesn't have to be the Bullet Club, or it could have been OC or whatever you want to rename it, faction. With
But
them.
I mean, like have them, wreaking havoc across the promotion. And,
Would have been
like,
nice, yes.
like them running the show in a sense. Like that would have been cool.
Would have been nice, yeah. I would have enjoyed seeing that. And then AJ, it was weird teaming him with Omos. I never got that. I felt like maybe they're trying to give him a Shawn Michaels Diesel gimmick. Was what
Sort
I kind
of.
of thought it was supposed to be. They were tag team champions. They won it at WrestleMania 21 or 37.
37.
I meant to say the year 2021, what I meant, but yeah, 37, which was kind of interesting. But I never really got the whole gist of what that was supposed to be for.
I mean, to kind of put a bow on it, just as we're kind of wrapping up with this, when you look at what his legacy is and his impact, I mean, AJ accumulated over 30 championships across major promotions, including 9 world championships, becoming one of the most decorated wrestlers of his generation. As far as his contributions to the industry, he helped popularize the modern hybrid wrestling style, which combines high flying, technical, and striking offense all in one.
I agree.
Elevated the X division in TNA, influencing smaller athletic wrestlers worldwide. I mean, you can look at a lot of the more athletic wrestlers today, and they'll pinpoint the X division in TNA as being some of the inspirations for getting into wrestling.
Will Ospreay has credited the TNA X division as the reason why he does what he does. And think about like guys like Ricochet, all these guys you see wrestling now, to what Raps and Randy was saying, 100%.
He bridged the gap between American and Japanese wrestling styles and was able to thrive in both markets. He was, Ramsey brought it up earlier, recognized by PWI with multiple Wrestler of the Year awards and was named Wrestler of the Decade in the 2010s. And I mean, to put a very nice little bow on it, when they had AJ Styles night in Atlanta, Georgia, fairly recently on Raw, Undertaker came out at the end and announced that he would be an inductee in the 2026 WWE Hall of Fame class, and a very deserving Hall of Fame induction.
I was really shocked by that. Like, wow, they're doing it already. I mean, geez and Pete's. Yeah, AJ retired at the Royal Rumble. Carl Anderson didn't talk to AJ, so when he asked AJ, like, I thought you were gonna have like a long he said on his podcast, I got to eat crow because I told everybody like, no, AJ's gonna wrestle for a while, and then here you are retiring a month later. And then AJ said his neck's been giving him problems. So he's 48 years of age. He's had wrestled for 30 years technically since he was 18, really. So the injuries start building up after a while, and I mean he even said that he can't do what he once could, and he doesn't want to stick around longer than need be. So he's got 4 kids. He wants to be a father around for him, and I think he's going to stick around. He just re-signed, I think, a contract or did something
He's basically going to be there to kind of
like a
contribute.
mentor. Yeah,
Yeah, like do a bit of coaching and do a bit of scouting.
exactly.
He's actually looking forward to the scouting aspect.
So
of
he'll
it.
help the younger generation really tremendously. Yeah.
Just think he becomes an agent and look at the agents right now behind the scenes.
Dude, you got Abyss, you got
Oh,
Bobby Roode.
So
Yeah, like
to your point, during his I don't know if they showed it on camera or not, but Air Paris was there in the ring during his AJ's retirement. You had Frankie Kazarian, you had Abyss.
Mhm.
So they were all there. So it was just kind of funny seeing these guys in his past showcasing back forward and like WWE product, which was insane. Christopher Daniels could be there. He's with AEW, but same thing with Samoa Joe. But these guys were so integral in AJ Styles' career that
So how I always do with these. I always give you the top 5 opponents of the career. So at number 1, Samoa Joe with 176 matches.
Jeez.
He was a plus 44 against Joe. Number 2 is Christopher Daniels
that would have been my
with
number one.
160 matches, and he was plus 63. Number 3, Kevin Owens.
Yeah, he did our stuff a lot.
120
House shows.
matches.
Yeah.
He was a plus 65. Number 4 is Randy Orton.
Yeah, I do remember some a lot.
Negative 13.
Yeah, I figured you'd somebody losing on that one.
And number 5, John Moxley.
Yep, he did wrestle
82 matches
Yeah, that's a lot.
and plus 14. And just real quickly, who you think would be number 6?
Was it Kurt Angle? No,
No, Kurt Angle 7.
So,
oh damn.
6. Jeremy Lin? No.
No,
Chris Sabin,
no.
For Kazarian?
Bishop Dwyer,
Bishop Dwyer.
Bishop Dwyer. It's
I don't know who that is.
aka
Baron Corbin.
Oh,
Dyer.
you know what? Fair point. Yeah, because I do see them a lot on Smack. Yeah, I could see that.
run up to the 10. Kurt Angle 7, Frankie Kazarian 8, Shinsuke number 9, and then
Okay.
Rod Desi or what's his name? His WWE name.
Wait, who?
He said Rod Dizzy. I don't know. Who that is.
Raj Desi. That's he won the title off of WWE. I can't think of his name. He's the one that took the title off of him in Europe. Kurt
Well, no, he fought
Jinder?
Jinder.
Yeah.
Really?
Wrestling name, independent wrestling name is
Oh.
Raj Desi.
Oh, Raj. Okay, yeah, because he was with Wildcat. Yeah, I kind of vaguely remember that. He wrestled at the Wildcat show under that name.
We didn't even bring it up during the WWE portion of it, but it was like scrolling through some of my notes and it hit me like that match that AJ had with Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series in
Mhm.
2017. Because like I remember going into that. That was when they were doing the whole, oh hey, SmackDown champions face Raw champions, and at the
Yeah.
time Jinder
It was supposed to be Jinder.
was the champion. It was
Yeah.
like, good God, like Brock Lesnar versus Jinder. The match is
Like,
going to be
nobody's
terrible.
gonna buy that.
But then AJ ends up winning the belt
The week
Monday.
before, yeah.
the week before, and then we get AJ and Brock, and that was a hella entertaining match.
What was kind of interesting
Like,
about that, I was watching AJ Styles 365, and they did it during that year.
mhm.
And AJ's wife was like, I never told my husband that I never didn't want him to wrestle anybody, but she goes, I don't, like, she was scared, legitimately scared for him wrestling Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series that year. I thought that was kind of interesting.
But no man, like any final thoughts that everybody wants to throw in there about AJ?
I mean, he's my number 3. I love Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, AJ Styles. I love guys that could wrestle in the ring, and those 3 were the best to me. And I mean, yeah, he legitimately perfect name, phenomenal, man. I got his DVDs, all of TNA X Division, his personal career TNA DVD. I, I'm so happy that he had a wonderful career of WWE. They did right by me with him, and the fans are truly getting to see him showcase on the grand scale of everything. So, you know, AJ Styles is going to be remembered forever, and he's God, man, I just can't believe all these guys are retiring. Jesus, Pete, it's like you.
They're all dropping off flies, but you know what? It's like as they're leaving out, we have this excellent young crop that's
Welcome
coming
to
up.
your 40s, Kurt.
I know exactly. So they
Just think, Kurt. Your top three is what?
yeah, I said well, let's see. I said Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, AJ Styles are my top three.
Yeah, and my top three, pretty much, two of them are dead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm surprised. Well, technically, I know that's how it goes with wrestling. They go out early,
I
unfortunately.
mean, I'll put it like this. Where AJ ranks in like my top 10 wrestlers, I'm not sure offhand. But if there was one guy that even like in the days of TNA where it was almost unbearable to watch, with a lot of the stupid storylines that they were doing,
Yeah,
or
they did a
whatever,
lot of goofy stuff.
like I might not have watched TNA on a consistent basis, but I always kept in touch with what AJ was doing
Mhm.
because like AJ was one of my favorites to watch go in the ring, and so it's bittersweet that at least from a wrestling day to day basis, that I didn't say he was completely done with wrestling because his son is showing an interest in getting into it. And he said he wanted to leave the door open, maybe down the line, to do a tag match with his son.
Oh, okay, I know that.
But like, as far as being done with being a day to day
Yeah,
wrestler, like it's bittersweet to see him go, but at the same point in time, it gives us an opportunity to get together like this and talk about the good times and
yeah,
talk about what we loved and appreciated about the man, the wrestler, and the career.
yeah. Matter of fact, I'm probably gonna go back home and rewatch those X Division matches. So get on it and do yourself a favor. Go watch his old school matches and just keep the memory alive. And that's how you keep the memory alive, is going back watching these guys' careers throughout the years.
I'll be honest, he's not in my top 10, but that's no short of I probably have
Yeah, that's
shitty
not-
wrestling tapes, as we all know.
I'm not gonna argue with you on that.
No, everything's subjective.
Hey, I'm an ECW guy, so but I always respected him. And also thought that probably the greatest match I ever seen him was the November. What was the word?
Is it otherwise? Yeah, no.
What you call it? The match with John Cena.
Oh, the was Survivor Series or Royal Rumble match or the SummerSlam?
Crown Jewel.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I thought
The,
that
We didn't even talk
Recently.
about that.
that's
and
probably one of the greatest matches.
okay,
I've
so
seen.
yeah, because
let's backtrack.
AJ wore the gear that he wore on the cover of the
Damn it,
magazine.
we were almost under an hour.
Oh, were we?
This is a quick little aside. I mean,
We can
Yeah.
we're perfect. No, we're okay. But no, go ahead. Like because it was John Cena's farewell tour, so you had to have AJ Styles on. This was wearing a John Cena t-shirt, and the fact that they were in Australia and Perth, and AJ wore his gear that he wore when they were on the magazine together, like the face of WWE, the face of TNA, and that match you wouldn't have thought was going to be
all the
as good as it
callbacks,
was.
all the callbacks though that both men threw, and like we knew that AJ's career was winding down. Granted, we didn't think it would be so soon.
I know.
But the fact that like John Cena gave a shout out to all of his WWE opponents and AJ did the same thing with him hitting move after move, it was pretty cool to see. And
If we now knew what we know, that would have been a perfect last match for both of them.
Correct.
To walk
Yeah.
off in the sunset.
yeah,
Because AJ literally goes on the microphone. And they didn't have an in-ring moment to where they met in the ring to sell the pay-per-view. AJ just kind of goes in the ring and he goes, "Just watch the damn match. We're gonna kick ass." Like he sold it to the audience. Like right then and there, I was like, "Oh, he's serious. Like they're gonna go have a banger." Even though they're in the late 40s, do not sleep on what they could do. And they did the right thing by paying homage to the wrestlers because like you could hear the audience just losing their freaking minds.
I mean, hell, the fact that like their Royal Rumble match, even going back years ago, the fact that was the match where they didn't leave the ring once, right? Nothing on the outside.
Oh my god, I know that.
Yeah, no, like they legit had one match, and I want to say it was the Royal Rumble one, where they didn't leave the ring.
It could have been the
They
Royal
kept
Rumble.
everything
wow.
in the ring, and that's pretty
You never see that.
unprecedented. Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's just a testament to the respect the two of them have and the work ethic, and the fact that like anytime the two of them got in a ring, it was freaking magic. Like
So, and then AJ and John Cena also have another saying. They both got retired by Gunter. So,
And like WWE, I gotta say this, man. Better not drop the ball with Gunther. If we're gonna build him up like this, then eventually he needs to get the belt back, and he needs to have a long and terrifying reign.
so I tell you what, I'm definitely gonna tune in for the WWE Hall of Fame, man. You got AJ Styles. I don't know if is he the lead. I know they got Stephanie McMahon. He's got to be the lead. It's fucking AJ Styles. So
Demolition's going in, and that's another
that
subject.
shocked me.
That's
We'll talk about that
another
off. We'll talk
subject,
about that off the screen. But yeah. So I'm ready to wrap up. But yeah, AJ, favorite wrestler, phenomenal. Going to the Hall of Fame. He deserves
Real
it.
quick.
Nestle gave that a 4 3/4 star.
The
Match.
AJ Styles match.
Yeah.
4 and 3 stars. That's actually surprisingly high. So that's good. Good.
I guess for Meltz's WWE bias, or his hate of WWE, that's pretty.
About as high as you're gonna get.
As an official president of the John Cena Sucks fan club,
Uh-huh.
that was a 5-star match.
Yeah,
And you heard that from Rampage.
yeah.
And I hate John Cena.
So if he says it, then it's true. But that's gonna do it for this edition of the Ragin' Marks Wrestling Podcast. I'm gonna thank you as always for tuning in. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And for Rampage Ramsey off screen,
Yep.
we got
CNK.
Ravishing Randy signing out.